Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority Board of Directors meeting for this May the 22nd, 2026. To begin with, I'm going to read the land acknowledgement this morning. The Niagara Peninsula watershed is situated within the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Ottawaneronk, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, many of whom continue to live and work here today. The territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties number 3, 4, and 381, and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, the watershed is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. At the NPCA, we strive to further our commitment to shared stewardship of natural resources and deep appreciation of Indigenous culture and history in the watershed in many small ways every day. I'm going to turn this over now to Melanie, and she is going to do our roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Vice Chair Metcalf?
Present.
Member Beatty? Member Clark? Member Cridland?
Present.
Member Grant? Member O'Neill? Member O'Neill, I saw you turned your mic off, but we didn't hear you. I'm going to take that as
sorry,
a positive.
present. My
That's
apologies.
Okay. Thank you. Member Seaborn?
Present.
Member Woodavine?
Present, thank you.
Member Tattison? And Chair Foster.
And I am here. Seeing none, Member Beatty and Member Seaborn, can you please move and second that we accept the agenda? Oh. Anyone opposed to us doing this agenda? Let us move on to declarations of conflict of interest. Does anyone have a declaration of conflict of interest this morning? Seeing none, our first item of business is going to be the approval of previous minutes. So I'm going to have a motion. Member Witteveen, could you move, and Member O'Neill, could you second that the minutes of the full authority meeting dated May 22nd, 2026, and the closed session minutes of the full authority meeting dated May 22nd, 2026 be approved?
As so seconded.
Member Witteveen, you good with that?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone opposed? That's carried. Chair's update. So, well, there's been a few things happening over the last while, I guess to say the least. Most of it is actually good news for us as the NPCA. First off, earlier this week, CAO Lee Yates and myself attended the Conservation Ontario's council meeting. Conservation Ontario continues to represent the collective of conservation authorities across Ontario, and their efforts continue to be greatly appreciated by the CAA community. And I believe you'll probably talk about the meeting that you had briefly afterwards, the CAOs.
The information from the province, yes.
Yes, okay, good. The second item that I wanted to talk about briefly, and sort of came out a little wrong in the media, there is significant momentum on the campground electrical upgrades project at Long Beach and Chippewa Creek. Director Christie is working closely with consultants to better understand what options project feasibility. That work is ongoing and will come back to the board at some time in the future. So it was kind of quoted within the newspapers that we were very busy actually doing that project. We are not doing that project yet. We're still in feasibility. And I'm looking to Mr. Christie to nod his head. Yes, that's correct. Good. A dedicated page has been launched on our Get Involved portal where people can learn more about the project, review FAQs, ask questions, and stay up to date. The 12 Mile Creek Watershed Committee has now been formed and held its inaugural meeting on June the 23rd. We're pleased to have such a passionate, engaged group of community members at the table. A project page will be developed in the near future to provide updates on the committee's work. It's also been an incredibly busy season for public engagement. On June 17th, we hosted a public session in Niagara on the Lake for the 4 Mile Creek project. We also held a second open house for the Beamer Management Plan in Grimsby and hosted 2 engagement sessions for the Upper Welland River Floodplain Mapping Project on June 22nd and 23rd. The response at these meetings has been fantastic. We're grateful to everyone who continues to participate, share feedback, and stay involved in these important projects. I'd personally like to thank Mayor Jordan of Grimsby and Councillor Burrows and O'Connor of Niagara-on-the-Lake for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend these public sessions. Our restoration team remains busy with planting projects, private landowner stewardship initiatives, and habitat restoration work across the watershed. As we move into summer, I'd like to encourage everyone to get out and enjoy our NPCA conservation areas. Heritage Days will soon be returning to Balls Falls in the summer, offering visitors a chance to experience culture and history through demonstrations and family-friendly activities. For parents and guardians, Balls Falls Summer Adventure Day Camp is running throughout July and August. It's a great opportunity for children to connect with nature, learn about the environment, and spend their summer outdoors. There are still some spaces available. I would also like to make mention of this, I guess we'll call it award that's sitting in front of us this morning. We're very proud to have been chosen by the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce as leaders in environmental here in Niagara. So we're very, very pleased with that. This morning I also brought a certificate from acting chair of the region, Barb Greenwood, for us as well. So anyway, I attended, Leilani attended. I'm continuously forgetting your name. I am so sorry. But the important person who does all the communications, who remembers names really well, we were at that particular event. And I got to tell you, it was a very proud moment to be able to go forward. We had been hoping that we were going to get that award, and I'll be darned if we didn't. So congratulations to everyone at the NPCA. Congratulations to the senior management team. You know, it's showing that you guys are doing a lot of things right. So I am now going to turn this over to Member Cridlin to provide an update from the foundation. Please go ahead, Donna.
Thank you, Chair, through you. 2 news items with great conservation impact potential to talk about today. So I'm going to lean in a little longer, and hopefully the Chair will indulge me. Full details of both of these events are on the website, so I would encourage you to go for more details. I'll try to be a little brief. Both will support our local stewardship initiatives that enhance watershed health, restore habitats, and care for conservation lands for current and future generations. Thank you again to our team and community support for both of these events. So first, the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation is hosting a signature fundraising event on July 24th at the beautiful Balls Falls. I'm going to say it's first in a decade. This event, titled Golden Hour, will bring together live music, local food and beverage, and community in celebration of conservation across the Niagara Peninsula watershed. And we have lots to celebrate in Niagara. This is also designed as a call to action. So what can you do? Come and enjoy. It's a live performance by acclaimed Canadian band Great Lakes Swimmers, delicious food by Niagara's own Chef Brad, craft beverages from Bench Brewing Company, and many other local providers. And there will be so much more to enjoy. So please bring your friends to this, I'm going to say, purpose-driven Niagara event where everyone will share in an impact. The all-inclusive tickets are on sale already, so look for those online, please. The second good news story, again, just released this week, and such an untapped potential, as you will see. The Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation has launched Cheers to Conservation. We are grateful to our founding pilot sponsors, Chateau de Charmes and Bench Brewing Company. This program offers a way for participating producers to align their products with local environmental action and offers their consumers a direct conservation connection through their purpose-driven purchases. This is the pilot phase, and we will all be learning from producers and consumers. So again, what can you do? Customers can purchase products from these two founders that have our Cheers to Conservation logo, and producers can connect with us anytime to learn more. So we can all feel good as we help tap into this potential to support keeping our local biodiversity healthier. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Donna, for bringing that forward. And I happened to have an opportunity to chat with Matt Giffen at Bench Brewery, and he is so excited about this program that you guys have organized. And it's a long time overdue. They were good supporters years ago, and very pleased that they're now coming back on board. So thank you for all the work that the foundation has been doing. Leilani, do you have some things that you would like to say this morning, or you're good?
Presentation, yeah.
Oh, wait till the presentation. That's it. Okay. Our CAO shall remain silent for another 30 seconds. There is no correspondence this morning, but now we have a presentation by, a surprise one, by the CAO, Secretary Treasurer, Leilani Lee Yates, and this is regarding the transition to regional conservation authorities update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and again, congratulations to our staff, our partners, our foundation, and all the great work that we're doing. Receiving that award was such an honor, and being up there with our business partners and our municipal partners and our community partners who were all cheering for us and feeling that energy in the room was very exciting. So thank you again for that from the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, and so excited to see the foundation and their two great signature events happening this year, so congratulations to that. I don't have a whole lot of new information to share, but I will share what I know today. There was a meeting earlier this month with the Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency staff to give us a bit more clarity and information on what we anticipate coming this summer and into the fall. So again, as you know, and for our viewers, with the regional consolidation, the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority will be amalgamated with Hamilton Conservation Authority, Conservation Halton, and Credit Valley Conservation. The anticipated statutory transition date is February 1st, 2027. The province has developed a phased process to this transition. The first phase happened in the fall and into the end of last year, where they passed the legislation to create the Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency that would oversee the transition and also the future governance and administration of the conservation authorities. We're in the phase two, which is earlier this year, there was legislation passed to facilitate the statutory amalgamation of the regional conservation authorities. The Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency Board has formed. The Chief Executive Conservation Officer is now in place with OPCA as well. That's Mr. Hassan Bassett. And we are working towards developing a transition plan. The phase three will happen after the date of transition, and that's the more transformative process that will be the implementation of all the work. At the meeting that we had with the province, they did break this down into a bit more detail to give us a bit more clarity on what we anticipate this summer. So as I noted, the board of directors has been established. Mr. Bassett is the chief conservation executive for the agency. They do have staff, and they are actively engaged with all 36 conservation authorities as we're starting to get into the transition phase. We anticipate the project executives to be announced early this summer, and the transition playbooks to be released, and the transition committee work to begin and continue until that transition date. We do understand from the province that there will be additional legislative and regulatory changes in the fall to further facilitate the regional consolidation, such as consequential changes to the Clean Water Act to align the new regional CAs with the drinking water source protection areas and regions, and regulations related to board governance. Following the municipal elections, the single and upper tier municipalities will appoint their members to the regional CAs, and the existing board of directors of the predecessor CAs will remain until the amalgamation is in effect. And then, as I noted, at the date of amalgamation is when the heavy lifting will begin in terms of implementing that transition plan that we will be developing. They also did clarify through the transition planning in the regional committees that some committees may need additional support services to inform the development of the playbook, of the transition plans. And as such, subcommittees may be needed that provide expert advice. And it will be up to each transition committee to decide if subcommittees are needed to help support the work. They did provide clarity around governance continuity. So again, just clarifying that the transition process does not introduce any interim changes to how the CA boards are currently structured or how they operate, and boards will continue to fulfill their existing governance, oversight, and decision-making responsibilities. The role of the transition committee is focused solely on preparing for the amalgamation and does not include formal decision-making authority. The transition timeline accounts for the municipal election cycle, of course. They know after the elections in October, and once the new councils take office, they will inform the board appointments for the new regional CAs. And to ensure that stability and continuity of operations, the current boards will remain active until the anticipated establishment of the regional conservation authorities in February of next year. It's not intended that there'll be disruption or turnover in board membership during the transition period. Members currently appointed will continue to serve until the successor members are officially appointed under the new structure. So that was good to hear from them to confirm that clarity that we were looking for. They provided some further clarity around this year's budget process going into 2027. So we are anticipating another minister's direction to guide the budget process and provide clarity around process and timelines. Each predecessor CA will follow the normal budget process that we currently follow, giving considerations to the continuity of operations and financial neutrality and maintenance. with a timeline for board to approve budgets by the end of the year, and that's our typical timeline, so no change there in terms of how we build our budgets and move them through approval. There are no proposed changes to the apportionment methodology, and that will continue to be applied to this budget cycle based on current regulations. And we've already received this year's apportionment numbers from the province. So we're already moving forward with looking at our budget assumptions, and we'll be bringing that to the Finance Committee later in July. And then the Regional Conservation Authority will then adopt the combined budgets for the regional CA for 2027. And then we know post-consolidation, there'll be work to harmonize the budget process for 2028, likely further legislative and regulatory changes to facilitate that amalgamated budget moving forward. So just to summarize what we know today, we have responded to the data collection request that came from OPCA through Ernst & Young. So we have replied with all that information. We also had a meeting with Ernst & Young staff to go through some of the areas that we identified as unique to the NPCA, areas where we feel there may be risk as part of this transition process, to flag them now so we can start considering them as part of the playbook, and that was a very constructive meeting, I found. Senior management will continue to assess the need for OPCA authorization for those restricted decisions. There may be some coming forward in July. Just to give you a heads up, there are a few that we have flagged, and we're seeking that clarification from OPCA on moving it through the process. What we're anticipating this summer then is that minister's order on the budget, the announcement of the project executive, the playbook, the transition plan playbook from OPCA, and the launch of the transition committees. So all of our 4 conservation authorities have appointed their CAOs and chairs to the transition committees. So that's all being communicated to the province at this time. As I noted in fall, there's likely going to be further legislative changes and regulations to further guide the amalgamation. And we continue to engage internally with our staff through town halls and sharing information with the board of directors on presentations and with our external partners when we meet with them so that they're informed of the changes as we move forward. And just to plug that again for the public, we do have a Get Involved portal where we are posting the information as it becomes available and can be shared. So with that, again, I thank you for your time. It was some information, but not a whole lot in the last month, but it did provide some clarity and certainty as we move forward. So thank you, and I'll answer any of your questions now.
Okay, thank you, Leilani, for bringing us up to date on that. Do any members have any questions at this time? I don't see any, so thank you very much, Leilani. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Member Tattison. I'm just wondering, will land acquisitions just continue unabated, I suppose?
Thank you for the question. So in that minister's direction, it did note that those restricted decisions affect land acquisitions and dispositions, but it also identifies the process by which we can go forward and ask for that authorization. So if we were to bring forward, the first step would be bring forward the reports to this board and get the approval from the board to move forward with any further acquisitions. Then we need to provide all the information to the province to make the case for the need for the acquisitions to move forward now versus following the amalgamation. And that goes for the other restricted decisions that are in the minister's order. So we are going through our current projects, and as I noted, we may be bringing a few forward in July to make sure that we're starting to get through the process. And again, the first step would be bringing it back to this board to get that approval that we should be moving forward and asking for that authorization.
Okay, thanks. So I guess my question was: is the new process that you're forced to follow through? Would it be easier just to wait until after the fact, or is it something that? And it sounds like it's something you want to move on now. So I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you, Member Tattison. Any other
Thank you.
questions? No? I'm seeing none. Again, thank you again. I would like to have a motion passed regarding this presentation from Leilani. So, Member Taddison, can I get you to move? And
I'll move.
Yep. And Vice Chair Metcalf, can you second that, please? Thank you. Anyone opposed? That's carried. We do not have any delegations this morning, so we do have one consent item, which kind of also slides into the next one after it too. However, the consent item report FA 1626, status and progress update on agreement of services. So, Member Beattie, can I get you to move? And Member Cridlin, can I get you to second, please? We'll put this on the floor. Any comments from the CAO with this particular report?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that the summary you see in this report is really a testament to our staff and the connections they have with our municipal partners and the trust and confidence that our municipal partners have in us to deliver these programs and projects for them. So I want to congratulate staff for all their heavy lifting and work on these MOUs and thank the municipalities for the continued support on these. And we're doing some fantastic work. Even if it starts with tree planting, we are seeing that it does snowball into other projects once they get into the process and see how sort of that turnkey ready we can make it for them. So I think it's been a very successful initiative to have these shared agreements with our municipal partners.
Thank you, Leilani, and from my perspective on this as well, we've done an incredibly good job of building these relationships on a variety of levels, and this should pay dividends as we start moving into the new structure, and it may become a model that's going to be followed by all as we're moving along. Any questions on this?
It's
yeah.
Member Whittabee.
Go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to CAO Leilani. Do we do a report card on this program on an annual basis to kind of, I guess, measure our successes with our prospective municipalities?
Thank you. Through the chair, we do summarize it within our annual report, but it is a great suggestion that we can tease out some more of those details to really highlight the projects and the value added service that we deliver for our municipal partners. So we'll take that as a great suggestion moving forward with our reporting.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, no, I just, as our partners, it's good to give them, good information on what their, as budgets get tighter, having a good reporting mechanism helps councils further support any other projects. So that was just my further comment, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Member Whittabee. I don't see any other questions. So with that, anyone opposed to receiving this report? Seeing none, that's carried. Discussion items this morning. So we do have one, and it's Report 9.1, Agreement of Services between the Corporation of the City of Welland and the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority. So I'll read the motion. That report number FA 1426, Re-Agreement of Services between the Corporation of the City of Welland and Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority be received, and that the Agreement of Services between the Corporation of the City of Welland and Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority, including Schedule D, which is the Trees for All program, and Schedule E, the St. George Park Wetland Restoration Project, be approved, and that the CAO Secretary Treasurer and the NPCA Chair be authorized to sign required documents to execute said agreement, and further that the final executed agreement of services between the Corporation of the City of Welland and Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority be made publicly available on the NPCA's website in accordance with the Conservation Authorities Act. Member Seaborn, can I get you to move, and Member Metcalf, can I get you to second this motion? Thank you. Any questions or comments to this? Natalie, I'm just wondering, is there anything of significance that you'd like to mention? Sometimes dealing with the city of Welland is fun times, so I'm just wondering if there's anything that you'd like to say.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Yes, this is a very positive agreement, and I'd say this is, as you may have seen from the previous report, this is the last agreement to be signed with our lower tier municipalities, so we're very excited to be at this stage. And this one is particularly unique because it also includes a wetland restoration project. So we are restoring 1.9 hectares of wetland within St. George Park, which has been naturalized for a few years, so it's extending that naturalization. We're really excited to work with the City of Welland. It's been very positive. We have a commitment for this year in 2026 to plant 2,400 trees across 3 sites, and I do realize some of those were planted in the spring, and the city was very excited and very proud of working with NPCA on those projects, so it's been very positive. For the wetland that's going to be installed this fall, we're also excited because we have great support from external funding sources, including the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation, the Niagara Community Foundation, Ducks Unlimited Canada, NPCA, as well as the City of Welland is also contributing up to $50,000 for this project. So just good news all around for this work. So we're very thrilled. Thank you.
And thank you very much. By the way, I didn't mean to be flip about Welland. I mean, it's a fine city, and I'm glad they're part of Niagara region. So anyway, any questions or comments to this? Seeing none, anyone opposed to us passing this motion? And that is carried. We have no committee reports this morning. We have no motions. Does anyone wish to bring forward a notice of motion this morning? Seeing or hearing none. New business. Do any members of committee have any new business they wish to bring up this morning? Hearing or seeing none. We do have a closed session that that we need to go into. So it is the closed session is concerning labor relations, human resources, or employee negotiations. And it's concerning the collective bargaining update. So with that, I'm going to look for a motion to go into closed session. Member Cridlin, can you move? And Member Beattie, can you second? We go into closed session. Anyone opposed? That's carried. So for those of you at home, this is going to be the conclusion of the telecast. When we come out, we will be approving a motion that may be coming out of closed session. And outside of that, have a great day, everyone.